This is the face I hate, the other side of me. Out of this cage he breaks to take the life from me. Tell me, tell me, tell me I'm not crazy. There's a psycho in my head, I'm closer to the edge, making me feel like I'm living in misery, misery, insane. These voices in my brain, starting to feel like it's gonna be the death of me, death of me. There's a psycho in my head. Living in hysteria.
Welcome to our special edition of Top Rope Spoilers for WWE Elimination Chamber coming up this Saturday, live from Montreal. First, a shout out to Skillet for allowing us to play the Elimination Chamber theme song, Psycho in My Head. It's available now on both Apple Music and on Spotify. For those of you who have ever joined us for one of our shows, this is the prediction show where we give you a quick preview to each match, and then each of us three, along with your OTRA votes up to this point, get an opportunity to be able to have your voices and predictions known. If you have not had an opportunity to put in your vote yet, you can go to our community page, just search for On the Ring Apron, and look at our YouTube community page to place your votes. The votes are not official until the bell rings, and then whoever has the highest percentage of vote is who the OTRAs go with. As with each of our shows, we do open with showing the scoreboard, where we only have 3 premium live events left: Elimination Chamber, and then the Stand and Deliver pay-per-view for NXT, followed by the Double Point WrestleMania 39, which we will be at live in attendance. WrestleMania 39 does constitute the final event of Season 3, as well as the first event of Season 4, so both WrestleManias technically count twice. Currently, the OTRAs have taken the lead thanks to a 4-point NXT Vengeance Day. They now lead with 71 total correct picks. Myself and Alyssa are both tied at 69. Kia trailing behind at 62, but a lot of available picks still on the board. We open with the first of what right now is scheduled as of the time of this recording to be 5 matches at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, as the Grit couple, Edge and Beth Phoenix, both WWE Hall of Famers, will square off in a mixed tag team match against Judgment Day's Finn Balor and the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match, Rhea Ripley. This rivalry has been going on for almost a full year, ever since Edge was kicked out of Judgment Day on the day Finn Balor became the newest member. Since then, Judgment Day has consistently been a thorn in Edge's side. Even though Edge does have a scheduled singles victory over Finn Balor, Balor was able to get his revenge as Rhea Ripley forced Edge to say "I quit" earlier in the rivalry, but in the end ultimately hit Beth Phoenix with a concerto anyway, causing Edge to completely snap. Beth Phoenix has returned at Royal Rumble and now is ready to enact her revenge on the lady who put her on the shelf. Can Mommy and Balor continue to rule over Judgment Day and continue to take it out on the Grit couple, or will the Hall of Famers finally combine their efforts together to get a victory here at Elimination Chamber, especially with it also being in Canada? And as of the time of this recording, 79% of the OTRAs currently favoring the Grit couple, Beth and Edge. Kia seems to agree with that assessment, as she is also going to go with Beth and Edge in this match. Myself and Alyssa are going with Judgment Day. They seem to just have the upper hand as of late, and I do feel that Rhea Ripley taking a loss this close to her championship main event match at WrestleMania would not do her justice. I also could totally see this being a disqualification type of match where maybe Dominic perhaps interferes or gets a little bit too close. I don't anticipate Priest having too much to do with this, as he does have an Elimination Chamber match later in the evening, but I do think that Judgment Day will continue to have the upper hand. Match number 2 of our Elimination Chamber live event is the rubber match between the almighty Bobby Lashley and the beast Brock Lesnar. Each of these two have split 2 previous meetings against one another. Bobby Lashley able to successfully defeating Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble event 2 years ago and winning the WWE Championship, albeit with a little bit of help from both Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman during that event. And then later on in the year at Crown Jewel, they faced each other again, with Lashley dominating most of that match, but Brock Lesnar ultimately being able to turn the Hurt Lock into a pinfall attempt, and Lesnar able to win the match over Lashley. However, as Lashley has so repeatedly noted, he did lay out Brock each and every time that they have faced each other. It was also Lashley who eliminated Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble a couple of weeks ago. So for the most part, Lashley has had the upper hand, but who finally triumphs as the biggest big man in all of WWE? And as of the time of this recording, this is actually our closest vote of any of the ones so far, as currently 58% are going with the Beast Brock Lesnar to be victorious in this match over Lashley. Alyssa and I are also going with Brock, feeling that he would benefit most from the win because 2 losses out of 3 to the same person typically does not do him well. Kia, however, perhaps just out of difference or perhaps out of needing to pick up an additional point, is going with the Almighty in this match. That's not to sit here and say that Lashley can't get the job done, but just simply feels like he might need it a little bit more than Brock does, especially since Lashley is likely on his way to potentially a match at WrestleMania. Right now, Brock's future currently seems uncertain in terms of who he will potentially face, if anyone, at WrestleMania. So perhaps that's why Kia's reasoning is there. In our third match, we enter our first of 2 Elimination Chamber matches. This one on the women's side. This match will determine the number 1 contender for Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship in one of the 2 women's main events of WrestleMania. Of course, the Elimination Chamber is 6 women, with 4 of them starting in pods and 2 of them starting a match every few minutes, typically 5. A new competitor will enter the match, and pinfalls or submissions is the only way to be taken out of the chamber. The last woman standing earns that championship match at WrestleMania. This one will feature the 6 women, 3 from SmackDown and 3 from Raw, as it will be from left to right: Carmella, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, the newly devilish Asuka, Liv Morgan, and Natalya. You have really reason to believe that each of these women could main event WrestleMania, but there's also a bit of luck and draw in terms of where you end up in the match. If you're a person that has to be one of the first 2 to start, the odds are not typically in your favor, as opposed to being the person who gets to stay in their pod longest, because whoever gets to sit in their pod gets 15 additional minutes to watch everybody else wrestle, and potentially there could be several eliminations before you ever even have to enter the match. So who do we think is going to take it? Right now, this is the one where the vote is somewhat split amongst everybody. 74% of the OTRAs, actually, they're going heavy with Asuka to win this match. Asuka has previously been inside the Elimination Chamber. In fact, a number of these women have. Liv Morgan will actually be entering her 4th, which is the most of anyone on the roster. Who would have believed that a few years ago? So along with the 74% of the OTRAs, Alyssa is also going with Asuka. I'm actually taking Liv Morgan to win this match. I feel that they've already kind of teased a Liv Morgan Bianca Belair type of match, and I do believe that Liv would be a fantastic option, a very popular competitor to go up against the likes of Bianca Belair. Kia kind of jumping off on her own on this one, and she's taking the long shot, or the dark horse certainly, as she's going with Nikki Cross to win this match. Nikki has been kind of tapping back into her sanity type of persona, and as a result, you're seeing her more wild side coming back out. She's also been toying and playing games with Candice LeRae and Mishin Mia Yim, so we'll be curious to see if a place like the Elimination Chamber would favor her well. In the fourth of 5 matchups, we move to the other Elimination Chamber match, and this one is for Raw's current highest title, and that is the United States Championship. Each of these people have had an opportunity to compete for the United States title, either as the champion or as challenger, but as of the last couple of months, it has been the current incumbent champion, Austin Theory, who has had a stranglehold over the United States Championship, successfully defending his title multiple times against Seth Rollins, once against Johnny Gargano, and also, albeit with a big assist from Brock Lesnar, a victory at Raw 30 against Bobby Lashley. But he now faces his toughest task yet, as he will now have to defend inside the Elimination Chamber against 5 of Raw's biggest stars, as Montez Ford of the Street Profits, Johnny Gargano, the colossal Bronson Reed, Seth Freakin Rollins, and Judgment Day's Damian Priest will all challenge to try to become the U.S. champion heading into WrestleMania. Can Theory continue to keep his stranglehold on that United States Championship and book his ticket to WrestleMania, or will one of these other 5 challengers cement their legacy and go into the show of all shows in Los Angeles as champion? And as of this, this one seems pretty straightforward. We're not one who typically divulges too much into dirt sheets, but in this particular instance, there's been very public knowledge that Austin Theory is likely heading to a match against John Cena at WrestleMania. It makes the most sense for him to still be holding the championship going into it, albeit with someone of the caliber of John Cena, as well as the new, more confident persona that Theory brings. It definitely makes sense that that match could happen without it. However, I just don't see anybody in this match being regularly able to take the championship off of Theory except for Seth Rollins. And we pretty much unanimously agree across the board that if there's any other person on this board that could defeat Theory, it would be Rollins. But it does seem like Rollins is lined up for a match with Logan Paul at WrestleMania. For those of you curious, Seth Rollins at the time of this recording is holding 38% of the vote. So that's almost 4 out of every 5 votes going to either Theory or Rollins. So the rest of the field not getting much love, although everybody does have at least 1% of the vote. But as of this time, our official picks is all 3 of us here with the OTRA groups are going with Austin Theory to retain the United States Championship by hook or by crook. And as of this moment, the OTRAs agree, but that is subject to change. As of course, again, the bell has to ring before our results become official. So if you go to the community page, make your vote known, and potentially could swing this vote a different direction. And in our 5th and final scheduled match of Elimination Chamber, we get what may be the most emotional match that we have seen in the last calendar year. As live in front of a hot and very one-sided Montreal crowd, the former honorary Uce Sami Zayn will attempt to try to take down the father figure of the bloodline and take the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship off of the head of the table and the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is closing in on 900 days as Universal Champion, and he's closing in on well over almost a full calendar year as the Undisputed Champion. Sami Zayn even stated himself to Cody Rhodes on Raw that he's not sure if he can get the job done. Not sure if he's going to be able to finish the job or not. However, he is confident that with the Montreal crowd backing him and with the chinks in the armor that he has created due to his turn from the bloodline, he feels like if Roman Reigns was ever vulnerable, now is the time. However, we've all seen Roman Reigns go up against people bigger, stronger, and faster than Sami Zayn, and all of them have fallen. At this stage, it's curious to see if anyone can stop Roman. And so even though he will walk into easily the most hostile environment he's been in, maybe short of Cardiff against Drew McIntyre, Roman will have his toughest test. Also noting, of course, that the Usos have been told to stay at home, so they will not be in attendance at Elimination Chamber. So at absolute most, Roman would only have Solo Sikoa. You would imagine that Kevin Owens would back up Sami Zayn to keep Solo in check. So this will truly be a one-on-one contest, and with the crowd firmly behind Sami Zayn, is there a chance we see the Usos pull the upset and win the biggest match of his career? What do we think? Sorry, but not a chance. Uh, the OTRA is going heavy right now with Roman Reigns. 88% of the vote is going with Roman Reigns. I'm actually kind of surprised it's that lopsided. I really do think that there were a lot of people that maybe in their heart of hearts feel that Sami could get it done. But most people do firmly believe that Roman Reigns is set to head to WrestleMania as still the undisputed champion. All three of us are also going with Roman Reigns to retain as well. That's not to sit here and say that our heart and emotions won't be invested in this match, as it has been easily the best written storyline, in my opinion at least, that WWE has put out in the last, I'm going to say, couple of years, dating all the way back, even before Sami was involved, going all the way back to the start of the bloodline with Jey Uso and Roman when he first became champion. But at this point, this one kind of culminates into a person who was not supposed to be here, earned his way in, fought his way here, but was never truly trusted, getting, having to finally make a choice and ultimately earning his way to his freedom, but certainly coming with a price. We'll see if the emotions behind the Montreal crowd can carry Sami Zayn to the biggest win of his career, or will Roman Reigns continue to have that stranglehold over both of WWE's top prizes and head to WrestleMania still the Universal Champion. And with that, that brings an end to our top rope spoilers for Elimination Chamber. Where do we get them right? Where do we get them wrong? Of course, we are on all social media channels, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. We definitely want as many of our fans, subscribers, anybody who can like and promote us. It's always appreciated. If you haven't had a chance to put your votes in, go to our community page and make sure you make your votes known. You can see a couple of those are really close, and so definitely capable of being swung in one direction or another. But as always, we appreciate everyone who's taken the time to enjoy our events. Be sure to take a watch of Elimination Chamber this upcoming Saturday. And then we hit the final stop on the road to WrestleMania, where we will be live in LA for Stand and Deliver, as well as both nights of WrestleMania. So we're certainly looking forward to it. It's always one of our most fun trips of the year. Hopefully you guys are too. We have a lot of good material and a lot of good stuff coming out as we head towards WrestleMania. But you guys enjoy Elimination Chamber. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe and have a good one.